Welcome to the Omniversity podcast. I'm your host, Alfred Lembermont Weber. This podcast is between 30 and 60 minutes in length, and today is August 17th, 2024. The subject of today's podcast is the origin of Maga, M-A-G-A, the Trump Campaign and GOP Motto. Maga, the Donald Trump and GOP Campaign Motto, has a secret Luciferian double meaning that we're going to document and share with you today for the public good. One public meaning of Maga is, quote, "Make America Great Again." Donald J. Trump secretly chose Maga as a GOP party and U.S. presidential campaign motto for 2016, 2020, and 2024 presidential campaigns because, quote, Maga is actually the fifth and highest degree in the Temple of Satan, founded by U.S. Army Colonel Michael Aquino, who was sponsored in the U.S. Army by Trump backers U.S. Army General Paul Vallely, retired, and 200 plus military U.S. general who comprise General Vallely's Trump backing organization. U.S. Army General Paul Vallely has an extensive publication history with U.S. Army Colonel Michael Aquino, founder of the Temple of Satan, and is well aware that Maga was the fifth and highest degree in the Temple of Satan, and that Donald Trump intentionally and consciously chose Maga, having a secret Luciferian double meaning. On the one hand, make America great ahead, and on the other hand, the fifth and highest degree in the Temple of Satan, so that all Magas wear it on their forehead when they put on caps, when it's on banners, etc. It's kind of like how the Nazis adopted the swastika, which was a holy symbol in many religions, and adopted it for their own. That's what Donald Trump did with Maga. He adopted Make America Great Again, but it was the highest, the fifth and highest degree in the Temple of Satan, founded by U.S. Army Colonel Michael Aquino, who was sponsored by Trump backer U.S. Army General Paul Vallely, and the 200 military U.S. generals and Trump backers who comprise General Vallely's Trump backing organization. So we're now going to go to a screen sharing of some of the relevant information on this. And this is from a book, which you can follow along if you wish, called "In the Future, Will the United States of America Break Up into Regions? A Public Inquiry." I myself, as a futurist at Stanford Research Institute, In my first day and week of work there in January 1977, was taken aside by the director there, Willis Harmon, and told Alfred, in the future, the United States is going to break up into regions. The SRI Futurist Unit at that date in January 1977 had a contract for a 50-year alternative future study of the United States of America. This, of course, 1977 was prior to the events of December 2012 that we have shown in a prior Omniversity podcast, where the Earth shifted from a catastrophic timeline to a positive timeline. You can look at the Positive Future Omniversity podcast for that information, which you can access at omniversity.net or exopolitics.com. So let's look for a moment the hierarchy in the Church of Satan, the Temple of Satan, and just go to churchofsatan.com/hierarchy. There's a registered member as the no degree, the first, active member, Satanist, first degree, witch and warlock, second degree, priest, priestess and priest, third degree, magistra and magister, fourth degree, and Maga and Magus, fifth degree. Maga hypothesis. Hierarchy in the Church of Satan. Anton LaVey formulated a system of degrees during the early days of the Church of Satan. As such, was a general practice in many prior social and esoteric organizations. However, the criteria for elevation in our church were based not on mysticism or occultism, but on knowledge of practical subjects beyond Satanism, and even more than that, on the applications of such wisdom toward measurable ends. This is quoting from the what it means to be Maga in the Church of Satan. Dr. LaVey experimented by mandating the specific color for medallions, which could be worn by each member according to degree. And for a time, written exams were given to assess a member's readiness for a particular level, Maga at the fifth level. In the mid-1970s, it became clear that many members had become obsessed with, quote, jockeying for position, being overly concerned with their place in the organization, rather than working toward advancement in the world outside. This was contrary to our carnal philosophy's emphasis on tangible personal progress. And so after that point, the existence of the degrees was de-emphasized in church literature, and formulaic methods for recognition were jettisoned. The first degree, denoting active membership, is for members who seek more involvement with the organization and other local members. Today, we maintain our traditional degrees, but these should not be seen as initiatory steps, which are expected of our members. The Church of Satan is not an initiatory organization. It is our position that for those with awareness, by living fully, you will have plenty of authentic initiatory experiences through the many avenues you explore. Hence, there is no need for such artificial posturing in our church. In fact, no member is required to move beyond registered membership. The first degree, denoting active membership, is only for members who seek more involvement with the organization and local members. The remaining degrees from second through fifth Maga, are not open to application or to request. Our specific standards for them will not be publicly released. The administration watches the progress of qualified members and may choose to grant recognition to outstanding individuals based on demonstrating excellence in the understanding and communication of Satanic theory, coupled with significant, potent practices in the arena of the real world, which have produced superior achievements. People naturally and quite organically rise to particular levels, and we may take note at our discretion. This is meritocracy at work. So if you're so inclined, keep us updated on your accomplishments so that your progress may be noted. Registered member, no degree. Active member, Satanist, first degree. Witch, warlock, second degree. Priestess, priest, third degree. Magistra, magister, fourth degree. Maga, magus, fifth degree. Maga hypothesis. And so that shows you what Maga is in the church and later the temple of Satan. We're now going to show you how this was brought by General Paul Vallely and through Michael Aquino, who redesigned the Church of Satan into the Temple of Satan, and then to Donald J. Trump, who adopted Maga as a dual meaning motto. So we're going to stop the share just a moment and pause this recording. Okay, then, so now we're going to resume our revelation of the dual meaning of Maga, fully endorsed by General Paul Vallely, by Michael Aquino, whom Paul Vallely sponsored in the U.S. Army, and the dual meaning of Maga, which Donald J. Trump fully and consciously adopted as his motto of, on the one hand, one meaning, make America great again, and another meaning, the fifth and highest degree within the temple of Satan. So now we're going to screen share to go to this section within our book to document this fully with links. Notice of lawful service. The following notice was lawfully served via email upon Major General Paul Vallely, U.S. Army retired, et al., et alios, by the peaceandspace.org Tribunal of Conscience on September 11, 2023. Monday, September 11, 2023, submitted as forensic evidence to Nuremberg 2.0 by the Natural and Common Law Tribunal for Public Health and Justice, peaceandspace.org, and that's another link where you can find this. Whistleblower Kathy O'Brien is a colleague of and fellow speaker with Judge Alfred Lamont Weber, myself, at the Free Your Mind Conference in Quaker Hall, Old Philadelphia, PA. According to a senior tribunal judge of the Peace and Space Tribunal of Conscience, in her classic whistleblowing book, Transformation of America, the true life story of a mind control slave, 17th edition, Kindle edition by Kathy O'Brien, author, and Mark Phillips forward. Whistleblower Kathy O'Brien exposes the late head of the Church of Satan, Michael Aquino, being her primary mind control handler at one stage. U.S. Army General Paul Vallely, retired, one of the principal social influencers cited in ICU media press releases, is U.S. Army General Paul Vallely, retired. A lot more Europeans are now informed on the veritas winds, that is, of truth, churning through our peaceandspace.org tribunals via observers and resurrected judges. The following in case, although you're probably aware of, number one, the Church of Satan and Kathy O'Brien's MK Ultra handler and serial rapist, Michael Aquino, final work, Mind War 2016 is that, and there is the link to Michael Aquino's 2016 Mind War. 2, Satanist and MK Ultra handler and serial rapist Michael Aquino, Mind War work, stemming from Michael Aquino's work with ICO Media and AIN Tribunal advisor General Paul E. Vallely in 1980. And that's the link to the joint work, mutual work between General Paul Vallely and Colonel Michael Aquino. 3, From PSYOP to Mind War, The Psychology of Victory by Colonel Paul E. Vallely, Commander, with Major Michael A. Aquino, PSYOP Research and Analysis. And so these are just documenting that General Paul Vallely worked with intensively and was a sponsor of Major Michael Aquino, the head of the Temple of Satan during both of those periods, time in and after the U.S. Army. And here's another link, intro to Michael Aquino and Paul Vallely's From PSYOP to Mind War, The Psychology of Victory, a True Free Thinker. That's another link. And 5, here's the origin of Maga, ICU Media and AIN Tribunal influencer. General Paul Vallely will have known that Satanist and MK Ultra handler and serial rapist Michael Aquino was Maga, the highest degree, the 5th degree in the Temple of Satan. That's the link to the churchofsatan.com hierarchy, the Church of Satan, Volume 1 by Michael Aquino at amazon.ca, Church of Satan text. So this is all known by General Paul Vallely, who heads up an organization of 200 plus U.S. Army generals that have backed Trump, that is integrated with deep work with Michael Aquino, the head and founder of the Temple of Satan, whose highest degree was Maga, M-A-G-A, and with 200 generals that backed Trump and brought Trump to be president in 2016 with Maga. And it was out of this that Donald J. Trump consciously chose Maga, the highest in the Temple of Satan, and Maga, Make America Great Again, and put that Temple of Satan degree on the foreheads of all those who wear MAGA caps, his followers, and the GOP, and in the 2016 election, the 2020 election and the 2024 election, trying to bring and make America a Luciferic nation and converting it from a nation under God with freedom of justice for all and to a Luciferian nation. And that is why Donald J. Trump is a convicted rapist and abuser of women and a serial liar, because he is a Satanist. And this is what lies behind all of that. Satanist and MK Ultra handler and serial rapist Michael Aquino created the Temple of Set when, as Maga, LaVey denied the actual existence of Satan, to which Satanist and MK Ultra handler and serial rapist Michael Aquino created the Set order to establish the Set actual reality. And that's another link. 7, Maga hypothesis, the Tribunal of Conscious, peaceandspace.org, indictment, co-defendant and co-perpetrator of the genocidal technologies pandemic through Operation Warp Speed, Donald John Trump and the Temple of Satan, Maga status. The peaceandspace.org tribunal, November 2020 indictment, co-defendant Donald John Trump appropriated the Maga, the highest degree, the 5th degree in the Temple of Satan. That's at www.churchofsatan.com hierarchy. He adopted the Maga motto for his 2016 US presidential campaign and disguised Trump's own Maga Temple of Satan membership status as his 2016, 2020, 2024 US presidential campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again," in reality a Vallejo Aquino mind war initiative and a collective black magic Maga Antichrist Temple of Satan membership status on America and the world, as secretly briefed in 1971 by DARPA CIA time travel presidential pre-identification program. See documentary and proof at the Chronography and Tracking the Antichrist at universebooks.com. And Dr. Fuelmick interviews whistleblower Kathy O'Brien. Judge Alfred, I am heartened to see that Dr. Fuelmick at last interviewed whistleblower Kathy O'Brien, who exposed Satanist and MK Ultra handler and serial rapist Michael Aquino and Aquino's mentor, General Paul Vallely. Dr. Fuelmick translated his interview with whistleblower Kathy O'Brien into German, and there are the links. Dr. Fuelmick, I have been talking about Dr. Bryan's testimony since 1955. It followed well on our Robert Newsland studies and the ground bomb SPI in 1994. So we're now going to just stop share and to pause briefly the recording as we go to a related topic. Welcome back. Okay, now we're going to go and share screen on some more material that is relevant to why Donald J. Trump consciously adopted a Luciferian double meaning to Maga. First of all, he adopted it as his official motto for the campaign presidency in 2016, 2020, and 2024, both for the GOP and his campaign. One meaning was Make America Great Again, and the other meaning, a secret one, was as the fifth and highest degree in the temple of Satan. And we're going to continue with this theme now in a share screen. And here we have from our book, Tracking the Antichrist number 4, Donald J. Trump. 45 biblical reasons proving Donald J. Trump is an Antichrist. Antichrist 45 by Brother Paul. Donald J. Trump perfectly matches the biblical descriptions of the Antichrist, and Christians are being deluded by this man. And so what we're going to do is we're not going to go and repeat all 45 here. You can follow that by downloading the books that will be set out here. One is book In the Future, Will the United States of America Break into Many Regions, a Public Inquiry. That's what would happen if Donald J. Trump had succeeded, but he was stopped on January 6, 2021, and he will not, and there'll be a peaceful transfer of power on January 20th, 2024. But we'll go through a few of the 45 biblical reasons, and you can download either Tracking the Antichrist, or you can download the book that I just mentioned. Summary keywords: Trump, Antichrist, number, president, truth, world, speak, simply, Bible, Trump supporters, evil, fact, unrighteous assumption, beast, referred, verse, man, day, praise, nation. Thanks for watching this video series about the Antichrist and the false prophet. That's your beast of Revelation 13. It's tempting to think that a few of these signs might also apply to another person. While that is true, it's very important to understand that the combination of all of these biblical verses point to one specific person that should make a stand up for taking notice, and that one specific person that all of these verses point to is Donald J. Trump. Thanks again for watching, and let's begin. Number 1, the Antichrist will come in his own name. The first major hits of the identity of the Christ comes from Jesus, who told the Pharisees, I have come in my Father's name, and you do not receive me. If another comes in his own name, and you will receive, coming in the name of someone means that you are speaking on their behalf, representing their authority or interests. This is what Jesus did as he spoke on behalf of and represent God the Father. By the time Trump burst onto the political scene, he had already marked his own name on dozens of building properties and products around the world. He had made a name for himself long before running for president. He had used the cachet of his own name as an entry point into politics and to gain acceptance with Christian evangelicals. Trump's name is so well known that the former White House Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney, stating that it is the most recognizable name in the English language and probably around the world. Play golf at Trump Bedminster. He goes play golf at Trump up at Sterling, and everyone asks a question. Is that not a huge marketing opportunity? I simply ask you all to consider the possibility that Donald Trump's brand is probably strong enough as is. He doesn't need any more help on that. This is not like it's the most recognizable name in the English language and probably around the world right now. He just warned us that someone would come in his own name and be accepted. And that is what exactly has happened with Donald J. Trump. Number two, the Antichrist is named a little horn. Trump's name is also connected to the name of the Antichrist in a curious way. The name Trump actually appears twice in the King James Bible and Corinthians, and again in 1 Thessalonians in both instances. The word Trump means trumpet. Why is this important? In the book of Daniel, the Antichrist is specifically given the name of the little horn. This is exactly what a trump or trumpet is, a little horn, both in the size of the modern trumpet as well as in ancient times. The trumpet is fashioned down the horn of a small animal. Here's what Daniel saw in his vision. I consider these horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, and this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. And Daniel's vision, the Antichrist, was given the name of the little horn, but specifically toyed as far as like a man and a mouth that speaks great things. So it's quite clear that we're talking about an actual person. This person, that little horn or little trump, is a man with a big house who boasts great things. Number three, the Antichrist is named the man of sin. In 2 Thessalonians, we find the Antichrist referred to as the man that sinned. He is, put it another way, sin incarnate. The sentence that the Bible referred to over and over again are those that related to vanity, to dishonesty, to lust, to greed, to envy, and to wrath. Trump has both in his personal and business ventures led not only an extremely simple white, but it's even bragged about his lust history, his desire for vengeance, and his inability to forgive. He is not only a simple man, but he has taken pride in his sinning. He seems to view them as badges of honor. Trump has simply treated each sin of the Bible as it were on his personal bucket list, waiting to be checked off. Number four, the Antichrist is named a lawless one, part and parcel of living such as a sinful wife. Trump has adopted an attitude of playing by his own rules, or more accurately, no rules at all. And again, we find that the Bible has yet another name to describe this aspect of the Antichrist. He is called the lawless one. Trump has consistently and unabashedly considered himself above the law, beginning on day one of his presidency. So we're at this 37-minute mark, and we're going to stop share, and we're going to stop here, and we'll continue in a future Omniversity podcast. Thank you for participating in this important podcast.